I'm Allie. This is my husband, Alex. We have a son. His name is Bob. He's 4 years old. Alex's mom, my mother-in-law, came up with his name. I love that name, Bob. It's the same name as my favorite actor. I tried to say no, but she wouldn't listen.
It's just a name. Just listen to her. Don't upset her.
His name is Bob. That's final.
She's your mother-in-law. Don't you dare talk back to her.
I really didn't have a choice. Oh well. If he doesn't like his name, he can always change it when he turns 18, so... Anyways, Bob was brilliant. He was nothing like me. He has lots of friends and he's always smiling. I had good friends too. Life was pretty good. But not today. Why? We were at my husband's parents' house right now. They're just so mean to me. And as for Bob, they wouldn't leave him alone even for a second. We were both exhausted. And it wasn't like they were playing with him either. They were making him study and yelling at him every time he got something wrong. My husband graduated from a really good school, so I guess they wanted the same for Bob. But he's only 4. This is too much. He looks tired. Let's call it a day. It's only 9 p.m. He has to study if he wants to get into a good college.
She's right. He can't even memorize the multiplication table. He needs to shape up. He should be able to do basic math by now.
What? I don't think that's a good idea. You just don't get it, do you?
Our son should have never married you in the first place.
I picked up Bob and ran into the bedroom. I hate spending time with them. My husband was already asleep. He was wasted. He doesn't care about us.
They're my parents. They're not getting any younger. It's the least we can do. If you don't want to be with me, we can get a divorce, you know.
Every time I told him I didn't want to go to his parents' house, he threatened to leave me. Sometimes he even threatened to stop paying for groceries and other expenses. So I really had no choice. I had to put up with him to protect my son. But every time we go there, he just gets drunk and passes out. They make me do things around the house while they force Bob to study. This is awful. Hey, can we go home already? Bob is exhausted.
What? Seriously? They're already in their 70s. It's the least we can do for them. We're staying for 3 more days. End of story. Got it?
But why drag us into this? Do it yourself. Ugh! He raised his hands and I flinched. A few years ago, he came home drunk one night and he hit me. That traumatized me. When I saw him lift up his hand, I ducked for cover. I can't take this anymore. I was terrified. I couldn't do anything but to obey. The next day, his cousin came over. So Bob got to play with him, so that was good. I was forced to clean the house from top to bottom as usual. I was exhausted. But at least Bob was happy. But I was wrong.
Mom, help!
Bob? Bob! A few hours ago, my father-in-law told me to go out and buy some beer. Bob was watching TV with my husband, so I wasn't worried. But then, when I came home, I saw Bob outside. He was buried under the snow. It was already dark outside. Bob, I'm coming! Oh dear, are you okay? There was a shovel next to him. The snow probably fell from the roof. But why? Why was he outside in the first place? Hey Alex, fill up the bathtub. Bob needs a hot bath right now. He was still conscious, but he sounded weak. It looked like he was going to be okay, but still, I was terrified. At first, my husband seemed annoyed, but when he saw Bob, he realized that something was wrong. He ran to the bathtub and filled it up. What happened? Why was he outside by himself?
What do you mean? He was shoveling snow.
I can see that, but why was he out there alone? It's already dark outside.
What do you mean? He's our grandson. He should help around the house.
Yeah, he was playing all day long. It's the least he can do. He was hungry, so I told him to help out around the house if he wanted dinner. So you can let him go out there alone? In the dark? How can you do that to him?
Ah, shut up already. Don't make me hit you now.
He came charging at me. His wife, smiling at me, she said, "Last chance to apologize." So that's where my husband gets his temper. Like father, like son, I guess. Bob finished taking his bath, so I went to the kitchen to make him a nice cup of soup. On my way out, they said to me,
You're all talk.
"Walk away." Listen, I'm going home tomorrow with Bob, whether you like it or not. You want to stay here? Fine, but leave us out of it.
Fine. I don't care anymore. Go ahead.
He was so stubborn. He was also upset about what happened, but he just walked away from us.
Mommy, I'm sorry. It's my fault.
No, Bob, it's my fault. I should have been there to protect you. I'm so sorry you had to go through all that. After he fell asleep, I started packing my things so we could leave first thing in the morning. The next morning, I had nothing left to say to them. I walked out the door with Bob. Then,
Help.
Help me.
it was my husband's parents. They were buried under the snow. Every morning, they went out to a farm nearby and bought fresh vegetables. They always wake up early so they can get there on time. I guess today was no different. But they tripped on the snow from yesterday, and the snow on the roof fell on them. I wanted to just walk by, but Bob was standing there looking worried. I can't just leave them and let them die in front of my son now. I had no choice but to help them. Fine, I'll help you, but first, confess everything. All the mean things you did to us. Let me record this. Okay, go.
What?
If not, I'm not helping you. Okay, just help us. Okay then, let's start from the beginning. Remember when I first came here? You knew I was allergic to shrimp, but you made a shrimp dish anyways. Did you do that on purpose? No. If you're gonna lie, I'm walking away. Okay, I did it on purpose. I'm sorry. Okay then, moving on. You walked in the shower room when I was still inside. Was that on purpose? And you tried to touch me. You said you slipped. That's all a lie, right?
Yes. I'm sorry.
And so I went on and on like this. They had no choice but to admit everything. Then I asked them about making Bob shovel snow in the dark. I wanted to teach him a lesson. He was so spoiled.
We wanted to show him what it takes to be part of this family. But we had no idea he was stuck under the snow. Just help us already, please.
I guess they learned their lesson. I didn't want to see them die in front of me, so I helped them out. They went crawling back into their house. We headed home afterwards. My husband chased after us and came home a few hours after. He was furious.
I heard what you did to my parents. You're not getting away with this.
Seriously? I don't know what kind of lie they told you, but I got them all on tape. I also got a doctor's note. Remember when you hit me and I got that nasty bruise? Apologize to me right now or I'm calling a lawyer. My dad has a friend who was a lawyer. He gave me his card just in case I needed legal help. I showed my husband everything. The business card, the tape, and the doctor's note. He fell to the ground. He realized that he was screwed if I took this to trial.
I'm sorry. Please don't sue me. I'll lose my job. Please. Please, forgive me. Please. You'll never have to go back there again.
See? All you care about is yourself. Fine, forget it. I'm done with you. We're getting a divorce. Pay me what you owe me in full. Damages, child support, everything. If you want to fight it, fine. I guess I'll see you in court.
Okay.
And so, we got a divorce. He had to pay me hundreds of thousands of dollars for damages and child support. After I left him, he was miserable. He couldn't do anything around the house. His clothes got dirtier by the day, and he started to get fat from all the junk food he was eating. And people at his work started talking about him behind his back about the divorce. He ended up quitting. Once he came crying to me saying,
Please take me back.
I just laughed at his face. After losing everything, he started living with his parents. You lost your job? Get out of my house!
You're an embarrassment to the family.
He then sent me a text saying,
I don't have a home anymore. I'm finished.
I never heard from him after that. A few years later, I heard from a relative that something happened to his parents. It was wintertime. They didn't shovel snow for weeks. Then one day, they got crushed. I don't want to go into too much detail. It's really hard to talk about. Oh, well, why should I care, right? If they let their son live with them, maybe they would have made it out alive. Whatever. I could care less. Today, Bob plays baseball at school.
I love baseball.
He seems really happy, and that's all I really care about. I'm just glad everything worked out for the two of us. Screw my ex-husband and his no-good parents. We're just gonna go out there and live our lives.